And my view is, I know what your view is, which is everybody should like Mike Pence. He's a funny guy. He's a smart guy. He's a well-meaning guy. He treats everybody, including people he disagrees with ideologically, extremely politely and well. He's a thoughtful guy. He cares about the country. Like, Mike Pence should be the most popular person in America. And in fact, as you know, the left hates him and MAGA hates him now. Let's just not sugarcoat it. It's unfortunate to me. And he has done what you have done, which is he has tried to keep his disagreements with the administration principled. Now, one big disagreement is January 6th, right? Understandably so. And as you know, there are a lot of Republicans who were MAGA who broke with President Trump just over January 6th. They don't care about intel. They don't care about the tariffs. They don't care about some of the other stuff. They're outraged about that. Mike Pence last weekend was on a Sunday show, and Jake Tapper tried to tee him up to basically say, well, in effect, January 6th was so outrageous, and now President Trump is interfering with law enforcement in D.C. Surely, Mike Pence, that outrages you. Here's the exchange.
I am curious what goes through your mind when you see the president aggressively pushing out the National Guard when he didn't do so on January 6, 2021, as the Capitol was under attack, a mob was trying to lynch you, and your family was in danger.
Well, January 6th was a tragic day. But I know we did our duty that day, and I wish the president would have done more. But I welcome his decision to deploy the National Guard and essentially federalize the D.C. Police Department.
All right. Tell people what that answer says about Mike Pence.
Well, I mean, to your preface, there's no public servant I know who has had the interest of the American people in wanting to serve that in a selfless way like Mike Pence. And so I agree with your premise in the opening to your question. The answer to that question, I think, is very consistent with Mike, where he would look at and say, it is our nation's capital, and yet it's one of the most poorly run cities in the country. Mike didn't give examples, but I mean, obviously, most recently, you've had the attack on a Rand Paul staffer. You had attack on the Doge staffer. You had celebrated just a couple summers ago when the Redskins running back Brian Robinson was shot. And so I think people know that there's a problem. And you've seen since the administration took this action, violent crime has dropped precipitously. And so you can applaud the action, but at the same time, I don't think it's unfair to note the irony that the president and Pam Bondi said that anybody who touches a federal law enforcement officer will get the full weight of the law and be imprisoned, when at the same time, one of the first actions they had is to pardon all the people who assaulted police on January 6th. So again, I don't think that's consistent, but it doesn't mean you can't support the current policy.